The Prophet ﷺ also said in a hadith narrated by Bukhari and Muslim, لَيْسَ الْغِنَى عَنْ كَثْرَةِ الْعَرَضِ. Richness is not having a lot of material things. إِنَّمَا الْغِنَى غِنَى النَّفْسِ. Rather, richness is richness of the soul. Richness of the soul. And they even did studies on happiness. There's all of these, really interesting studies out there on happiness. And beyond someone being, once again, like in really difficult, dire straits, where they're beneath like the poverty line and they don't have enough to suffice their bare minimum needs, they've understood and basically proven that more money doesn't make you happier. Beyond that bare minimum. When a person is in crisis mode, that's different. But beyond that bare minimum, more money doesn't make you happier. And one of the greatest indicators of life satisfaction and happiness is strong relationships, loving relationships, family, friends, community, spouse, whatever it may be, parents, children, whatever it is. But having those strong bonds of love and really being there for each other, that's why we said before, the best things in life are free. You can't buy that. And there are people who will make a whole ton of money and sacrifice all of their relationships in the process. And then they're not satisfied, they're not happy. And then there are people who have loving relationships and they fulfill the rights of those around them. They look out for others and others look out for them, and they're satisfied. And even if they go through difficulty, they got people there to support them. And that's what we really need to invest in, are those kinds of relationships. So لَيْسَ الْغِنَى عَنْ كَثْرَةِ الْعَرَضِ. Richness is not having a lot of material things. It just is not. It's proven at every... صَدَقَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم. The Messenger of Allah speaks the truth. And what he says is fact. And in addition to that, even people of material knowledge and who just focus on the life of this world have come to the same conclusion. We say, we already knew that. إِنَّمَا الْغِنَى غِنَى النَّفْسِ. But richness is richness of the soul. وَنَهَى صلى الله عليه وسلم عن شدة الحرص والمبالغة في الطلب. The Prophet ﷺ prohibited a person being greedy and being excessive in seeking their provision. فقال صلى الله عليه وسلم ألا أيها الناس أجملوا في الطلب. He said, O people, be dignified in seeking your provision. So there's a balance. Doesn't mean you don't seek your provision, but be balanced. Work hard. Be dignified. Go out. Strive. Sweat. Whatever needs to happen. Go and work. But be balanced. There are people who do that, but it's still never enough. They might work hard. They go to sleep at night, and they're just thinking about all their money. They're thinking, what if this happens? What if that? Do I have enough? Have I saved up enough? What if this? What if the stock goes down? What if the economy crashes? What if this? And even though that person might be wealthier than 99% of the people around them, they're not at peace. The Prophet says, "Ajmilu fi talab." Be dignified, be balanced in seeking your provision. فَإِنَّهُ لَيْسَ لِعَبْدٍ إِلَّا مَا كُتِبَ لَهُ. Because a servant will only receive what Allah has decreed for them. وَلَنْ يَذْهَبَ عَبْدٌ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا حَتَّى يَأْتِيَهُ مَا كُتِبَ لَهُ مِنَ الدُّنْيَا وَهِيَ رَاغِمَةٌ. And a person will not leave the world until every single thing that Allah has decreed and written for them comes to them. And as an example, our teachers tell a story as an example of how true this is, like to the T, that there was a man who fell into a well. But alhamdulillah, he survived, so they got him out of the well. And he said, oh, alhamdulillah, I didn't die. And then he drank, they gave him a cup of water, and then he fell into the well again and died. And they said, what? That water was his rizq. Like Allah had still decreed for him that last cup of water. And he's not going to leave the world until he gets it. So that's an indication of just how guaranteed your provision is to come to you. But we should be balanced in seeking it and not go to extremes on either side. Okay, be so worried, but I could do more. But what if I do this? What if I that? If I work 10 hours, I could work 11 hours. If I work 11 hours, I can work 12 hours. And I can do this thing on the side and save money. And people start to become, and then what does that lead to? Miserliness. And you can't let go. You think that, take it easy. Allah is providing for you. You do your part, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will absolutely fulfill His promise.